Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Sportsmemo's College Football Forecast. My friends, we come to each week during the NCAA football campaign, bringing you tons of free winners, amazing betting insights, and a few laughs to boot from some of Sportsmemo's documented leaderboard fixtures. So grab that helmet, lace up those cleats, get ready to make some money in Conference Championship football this week. And even the dogs are excited about this weekend of Conference Championship, guys. We've got an amazing show. Let's bring on the panel. Woo, what a show. Let's go around the horn, then I'll go some individual hellos. First Lady of Las Vegas, Dionne D'Amico, the Iceman, Jesse Schule, Dan the Man Kaiser. Dionne, let me start with you, honey. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here with you guys today.
Happy to have you down the hall, and you're going to hear the dogs howling and barking a lot because they hear Dionne's voice. Jesse Schule, how are you, buddy?
Joe, there's nowhere I'd rather be than talking college football with you and Dan and the First Lady.
Great stuff. Dan the Man Kaiser, how's your day going, pal?
Going good, going good. Glad to be back. I missed last week, but I'm ready to go this week.
Great stuff. Now, guys, before we get into our free content today, we're going to have 3 roundtable games, a best bet segment, a couple of quickies. And, guys, who doesn't like an afternoon quickie? First of all, the Gold Sheet, the oldest and the most respected of all the betting publications. Guys, I want you to know every successful sports bettor and sports handicapper I know use the Gold Sheet after the show. www.goldsheet.com. Use what the pros use. Also, I say every show. You know why? It's true. The customer appreciation at Sports Memo, unrivaled. We know that saving you money just as good as making you money. After the show, www.sportsmemo.com. And take advantage of the amazing discounts we currently have offered. Plus, make sure to check out the deals page for special discounts. I want you to know, even us cappers don't know sometimes we have a special on that deals page. So go over there after the show. Couple of specials I want to tell you about. First of all, my friends, we got a great new special for the week. Sport 50 is the code you use. $50 off 30-day passes. NBA, NFL, college basketball, college football, NHL soccer, and all access. No code necessary. Now we got a brand new one this week for you. College football. It's a bowl special. Oh, God, I love it. Any of your cappers. Your favorite, let me see, any one of your capper or cappers for the entire bowl program, $149. Again, no code necessary. We've got a couple of individual discounts we're going to tell you about during the best bet segment, especially a special one for the First Lady of Las Vegas, who's all over the Sports Memo leaderboards. Real quick, guys, before we get into our 3 roundtable games and our best bet segment, I want you to know that I've got some line movements from my favorite sports book here in Southern Nevada, the Superbook at the Westgate. Now, each week we tell you that, weather conditions, injuries, and the general public will move a line. But one game this weekend in college football was moved specifically by the sharp money guys, the wise guys, the smart money players. And that's Coastal Carolina. Chanticleer's line went from +10.5 down to +8.5. They're all over Coastal Carolina. That's from the smart money players here in Southern Nevada. Guys, 3 roundtable games. 3 great cappers, all leaderboard fixtures over at Sportsmemo. Our first roundtable game, guys, College Football Championship weekend. The Pac-12 Championship Trojans crept into the college football playoff, only lost in 2022, a 43-42 barn burner to who? The Utes. Both offenses account for over or approximately 40 points per game. USC has covered 3 of the last 4 meetings, but the doggy woof is 4-0 the last 4. Utah versus USC, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. Goes off Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. USC is currently 2.5, total 67F. Let's go to Jesse Schule. Jesse, give us your take on the Pac-12 Championship.
Well, Joe, Utah is back in the Pac-12 Championship game. And you might remember last year they faced the Oregon Ducks, and they blew them out by a score of 38-10. And what's significant about that to me is they faced Oregon just a few weeks earlier. They won that game 38-7, and then almost an identical score a few weeks later in the championship game. And I'm looking at the total for this game against USC. Of course, these 2 teams just played a few weeks ago, and Utah won that game by a score of 43-42. The punters took the day off in that game. If you're a punter here for this game, you can probably pack a lunch, a few beers, and sit on the sidelines, and you won't be called upon. The offenses on both these teams are humming. The last game, Caleb Williams threw for 381 yards, 5 touchdowns on 25-42 passing, and Cam Rising threw for over 400 pounds himself. I think these teams are going to score points. I think we can expect a very similar game to what we saw a few weeks back. So I'm going to go over the total for this game.
Jesse, the Iceman Schule says over the total. It's over 67.5 in the Pac-12 Championship. Jesse, I got to tell you, you had me laughing as soon as you said the punters took the day off in the first matchup. Actually, I had to put my mind on mute. Thank you. Always as entertaining as he is informative. Jesse Schule, let's keep this Pac-12 Championship roundtable going. Dan the Man Kaiser, you've got USC 2.5, 67.5. Take it away, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Yeah, I need to find me one of those punting jobs. That seems my kind of thing. Sitting on the sideline with the lunch and some beers, to not have to work. I kind of like that. But yeah, I as Josh was talking about, these two teams played a couple of weeks ago. Is probably one of the most exciting games this season. Came down to a 2-point conversion by Utah to win 43-42. I do like a side in this game, and it will be posted up in Sportsmemo later today. But I'm with Jesse on the over in this one. Both teams, offenses are been juggernauts all season. Trojans are putting up 42.5 points a game. Utah's just under 40 points a game. And in saying that, both defenses can leave a lot to be desired. USC stepped up against UCLA a couple of weeks ago and shut them down. But I think that was kind of a one-off in a rivalry game. I don't expect that kind of output from their defense in this one. In Utah, as the Trojans showed when they played, their defense can be scored upon. So yeah, this total is at 67. Considering they scored 85 the last time they played, I don't see them getting under the 67. I was a little shocked at that one. I think it's a little low. And if you just look at USC, they're 6-0 to the over their last 6 games, and the over between these two teams are 6-2 to the over in the last 8. I think this number is a little low, so I'm taking the over with Jesse.
My good buddy Dan Kaiser says, great minds think alike. He and Jesse both like the over in the Utah-USC Pac-12 Championship matchup. Great stuff. And guys, if you miss any portion of our roundtable segments, don't worry. I'm going to repeat all of our experts' opinions at the end of round 3. So let's keep this train a-rolling. Our second roundtable game, Big 12. Woo! Big 12 title, TCU, college football playoff, undefeated 12-0. But K-State running red hot, 3-0 straight up and against the spread there last week into this matchup. The Wildcats covered 4 of the last 5 meetings, taking 3 of those 5 straight up. Kansas State, TCU, AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. TCU 2.5, total 62. First Lady of Las Vegas. Dionne, give us your take on this game.
Thank you. This has been a dream season for TCU, which is just 1 win away from the college football playoff. While they have an explosive offense that averages over 41.3 points per game, the Horned Frogs have had some very close calls this season. The Jayhawks, the Cowboys, the Longhorns, and the Bears have all given this team some scares. However, despite a final score of 38-28, the Wildcats might have had their toughest opponent this season. If you recall, in the October 22nd matchup, Kansas State had a 28-10 lead in the second quarter. Then they gave up 28 straight points. You can expect a heavy dose of running back Deuce Vaughn from the Wildcats. The team will try to control the tempo and own the time of possession, utilizing the powerful running back to keep the TCU offense on the sidelines. I'm not looking to take anything away from the Horned Frogs, but maybe it's time that they have a little bit of a letdown this season. Maybe their luck runs out, and maybe the Wildcats study the game tapes of the first meeting, and head coach Chris Kleiman has his team better prepared and maybe has a few surprises up his sleeve. Kansas State has covered 4 of the last 5 meetings in this rivalry. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Wildcats in this matchup here.
The First Lady of Las Vegas says Wildcats. That's my homage to the Goldie Hawn movie. She says the Wildcats. Says TCU's their luck is going to run out, guys. Great breakdown, Dionne. Way to go. Let's keep this train rolling in the Big 12 matchup. Let's go to the Iceman himself. Jesse, TCU 2.5, 62. Does the Horned Frogs' luck run out? Is Dionne right or is she wrong? Give us your take, buddy.
Well, my take's going to be very similar to the First Lady's. I'm seeing a lot of what she's seeing. you look at this line and you got an undefeated Horned Frogs team just -2.5. And that's telling me that nobody really believes in this Horned Frogs team. They're just barely better than Kansas State is what that line's saying. And of course, we all saw that game that Dionne alluded to a couple weeks back when Kansas State was leading 28-10 just before the half. And what ended up happening in that game is Kansas State lost not only their starting quarterback, but also their second string quarterback. They got down to their third string quarterback, and everything fell apart. In fact, TCU's been quite fortunate in that regard this season. Wins over not just Kansas State, but Kansas, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State all came against backup quarterbacks. There's this feeling that eventually that luck's going to run out. You look at last week, TCU put up 62 points on Iowa State. You look at that result and you think, man, TCU really proved what they're made out of. But you look at the box score, they only outgained Iowa State by about 40 yards, 377 total yards in that game. All those points came off of turnovers and penalties, and that score was a little anomalous. So, I think that this is a good spot for Kansas State to pull off an upset. I don't see a lot of value with the +2.5, but if I was going to put some pizza money on it, it would be with the Wildcats.
Guys, Jesse Schule says pizza money. He said pizza money, Wildcats. I got to tell you, you ever see Jesse's post about food? He don't take food lightly. He says K-State, pizza money, way to go. Guys, 2 roundtable games down. 1 to go. Don't go anywhere. Then we're going to go to our best bet segment. We got some special individual discounts. We got a special occasion today. Got a lot of stuff. If you missed any part of our roundtable games, I'll run down all of our experts' opinions after this round. Even Pygal likes the roundtable games. Our third roundtable game, SEC Championship. Number 1, Georgia. Number 14, LSU. Tigers won and covered the 2 most recent versus the Bulldogs, 2018 and 2019. But you all know how much I like a very big but. But that's when Joe Burrow was at the helm for LSU. 2 very different teams right now. But is Georgia going to keep their foot on the gas, knowing even with a loss or less than stellar appearance, they'll still probably make the CFP? Let's see what our experts say. LSU, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia, Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Georgia, 17.5. Total 51. Dan the Man Kaiser, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I thought this was going to be a pretty compelling game. LSU had a chance to make the CFP playoffs with a win, and that would have put 2 SEC teams in the playoffs for sure. But LSU went down to Texas A&M and somehow found a way to lose to the Aggies. So yeah, this game takes on a little bit different meaning. And this Georgia team all season long, they seem to step up when they need to step up, and then they don't play. They don't seem to have a lot of emotion or whatever when they're playing lesser teams. To be honest, in this one, I think they're going to want to win. I think they're going to come out and want to win this game after what happened last season when they lost big to Alabama in the championship game. I know it's just an SEC championship, but it does mean a lot down in down south in SEC country. LSU, they had that big win over Alabama. They have a good offense. They put up 32.5 points a game. Jaden Daniels, if he's 100% healthy, he could cause Georgia some problems. He leads the Tigers in rushing and obviously passing since he is the starting quarterback, and he's got 26 total touchdowns. But this Georgia team, again, when they want to play, they're unbeatable. Their defense, is the top defense against the run, against points given up. They're top 25 in most other statistical categories. And unlike Big Ten teams, it does mean something when you're top defense in the SEC. Their quarterback, to me, is underwhelming. Stetson Bennett, he's a good game manager. He seems to do enough to win. But he reminds me a lot of J.J. McCarthy, who just goes through the season getting things done. But this is one of those games like McCarthy against Ohio State. He could step up big in this one. I know it's a big spread, But Georgia is 6-6 against the spread this season, but it's 3-0 against the spread when favored by 20 points or less. I think because LSU lost last week and this doesn't mean doesn't have a playoff spot in line. I think Georgia's going to lay the hammer down on this one. And I think they'll squeak out a cover in this one.
Dan Kaiser said Georgia lays the hammer down, but they're going to squeak out a cover, a lot of points. But he says take the Bulldogs. Stay perfect. All right, Dan Kaiser, great stuff. We're going to go to the first play to Las Vegas. Dionne, LSU, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia, Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern, Georgia, 17:51. We've had agreements on the first round table game, the second round table game. Let's see if Dionne agrees with Dan. First play to Las Vegas, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Joe. Georgia is exactly where they want to be at this point, undefeated and ranked number 1 in the polls. Regardless of the outcome of the SEC championship, the Bulldogs are almost certainly going to the college football playoff. One thing for sure, I think we would all agree that the last few weeks, this team has been overvalued a bit. They were a favorite of 22.5 points against Kentucky and only prevailed 16-6. Then they were a favorite 36.5 points against Georgia Tech and only won 37-14. Granted, they won both games, but are still being overvalued. With last week's loss to Texas A&M, LSU is out of the Final Four scenario. But with a win here, the Tigers can certainly up their stock for a better bowl game. Prior to last week, the last time LSU dropped the game was back in the beginning of October. The Tigers then rattled off 5 consecutive wins, going 4-1 against the spread. Granted, their quarterback Jaden Daniels is listed as questionable here, but as of this show, reports are optimistic he will play. I just think giving the Tigers this many points is a big mistake. They have a really pretty good defense as well, allowing just 21.5 points per game. They're very tough against the pass and very strong against the run. To me, I just think this is a lot of points to give a very tough and competitive LSU Tigers team that is looking to up their bowl status. They're 4-0-1 ATS the last 5 meetings with the Bulldogs, 6-1 ATS the last 7 in December, and 20-7 ATS the last 27 following an ATS loss. I'm going to go ahead and take the points here with the Tigers.
First Lady of Las Vegas says take the Tigers. Too many points. Our first disagreement, guys. Guys, I'm going to run through the roundtable games. Then we're going to go through our best bet segments. First roundtable game, Pac-12 Championship, Utah, USC. Both Jesse Schule and Dan Kaiser say a lot of points. Punters can take the day off. Over. Second roundtable game, Big 12 title game, K-State, TCU. Dionne D'Amico, Jesse Schule both say K-State. Even Pygow says K-State. Our third roundtable game, the SEC Championship, LSU, Georgia. Dan says Georgia's going to lay the hammer down. Dionne says not so fast. Too many points. LSU might catch Georgia looking. Guys, those are our 3 roundtable games. We're going to go to our best bet segment. Without any further ado, guys, my good buddy Jesse Schule, we always talk about how hot of a start he gets from summer through the fall, but he's all over the leaderboards at Sportsmemo. He's doing great work. He's going to tell you a little bit about what he's been doing. He's going to tell you about what you can expect on the premium side at Sportsmemo the next few days, and he's got another free best bet. Jesse Schule, take it away.
Thanks, Joe. Big play tonight, putting my perfect 8-0, 5% NFL run to the test with Thursday Night Football. You're going to want to get that. I believe I'm still number 1 at Sportsmemo with NFL this season, and still perfect with those 5-unit plays. So I got 1 going Thursday night tonight and 1 on the weekend. So come and get those. But as far as my best bet goes, I'm taking a look at the Mountain West Championship game. And I think the bookmakers have this one wrong. I think they got the wrong team favored here. I like the Bulldogs as an underdog. Fresno State, they're 5-0 since Jake Haener got back at quarterback. Haener has thrown for 2,432 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's only played 8 games. Fresno State is 6-2 in those games. The 2 losses came to Pac-12 powerhouse Oregon State by just 3 points, and the USC Trojans, which look like a playoff team. Why is Boise State favored? Well, Boise State's got a top 10 nationally ranked defense. They're only allowing 17.8 points per game. However, if you look at Boise State's opponents, their wins have come against New Mexico, UT Martin, San Diego State, Colorado State, Air Force, Wyoming with Wyoming's backup quarterback, Utah State, Nevada, and Fresno State without Hainer. So you look at those teams, not one of them jumps out as a team that's really capable of putting up anything offensively. No wonder their defense ranks so well. So keep in mind that was 17.8 points per game that Boise State is allowing. Now, you look at Fresno State's defense, and if you take away the game they played against USC, which they gave up 45 points, just in their other 11 games, they're allowing 18.6 points per game. Very, very close. There's no doubt that Fresno State's got the better quarterback. Like I said, they've rattled off 5 straight wins since Hainer has been back. And we all know that Mr. Perfect has a soft spot in his heart for Jake the Snake Hainer. So we're going to take the Bulldogs +3. They're going to win outright.
Wow, Jesse, the Iceman Schule says the only Bulldogs you should be concerned about this weekend is in Fresno State. Forget about them Georgia Bulldogs. Fresh off a brand new haircut, Jesse Schule. He's got another 5% plays, 8-0 in the NFL, and his 5% plays. You know, by the way, guys, we're talking a lot about college football here. There's a college football show, obviously. He's got a big NFL play. But Jesse's the ideal capper for you to follow with that discount going across the bottom of your screen. Sport50 is the code. Upon checkout, $50 off of all 30-day passes. Jesse handicaps NBA, NFL, college basketball, college football, NHL, and soccer. So you will get all those sports from Jesse when you follow him for 30 days, all sports. He's the ideal capper. He is a winner. Follow him, and you will be a winner, too. Speaking about winners, guys, my good friend Dan the Man Kaiser. You know, we always talk about how great Dan is at college football, and he is one of the best. But the last 2 months, he's one of the hottest cappers on the planet in the NFL. And, guys, he's going to bring it even, take it up a notch even more this week. And you know why? Because this is Dan Kaiser's birthday week. Guys, real quick, I know this is a serious show, but we have to wish our good friend Dan the Man Kaiser a very happy birthday, guys. From everybody at Sportsmemo Football and everybody out there, Dan, we wish you a very, very happy birthday. God bless. May all your wishes come true. But having said that, guys, Dan is still, over the last few months, one of the hottest handicappers on the planet in the NFL. We always talk how great he is in college because he is great in college. He's going to tell you what he's been doing. He's going to tell you what he's going to be doing on the premium side. He's got another free best bet. Dan, take it away. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Joe. And I begrudgingly thank you for that happy birthday wish. At my age, I try to forget them because it just means I'm 1 year older and my liver's 3 years older. So, but thank you anyway. Yeah. Last week in college football, things started to come around. I had hit my 10% play, a 5% play, and a 4% play on Saturday. I've got 10% play up on coming up for the Big 12 Championship game on Saturday. I've got a couple other 5% plays coming up for championship weekend. My best bet is on the Clemson, North Carolina game. I'm looking at the total in this one. This has been a disappointing season for Clemson. And to be honest, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I'm glad that Dabo's feeling a little bit of pain down there in Clemson. But yeah, 2 weeks ago, this game looked like it was going to be something good. You know, Clemson was looking at a possible playoff spot. North Carolina was at 9-1, but North Carolina's dropped 2 games to Georgia Tech and North Carolina State. Clemson's coming off a very bad loss to South Carolina last week. But one thing that hasn't changed about these two teams is, one, their offenses can score a lot of points, and North Carolina can't stop anybody. These teams have gone over the total in 5 of the last 7 head-to-head meetings. Derek May for North Carolina leads the top passing offense in football. You know, that guy's been amazing all year. Probably could have won that. Probably very seriously won the Heisman if their defense could have stopped anybody this season. But since they can't and teams score at will on them, Mays had to do everything he could with short of his arm falling off to lead Carolina to win as many games as they did. I just see Carolina being able to move a ball against this Clemson team that Spencer Rattler made look terrible last week. I think May will do the same in this one. And as I've said numerous times, North Carolina can't stop a high school team. So the over sitting at 63.5. I see both these teams definitely getting in the 30s themselves. I think one of these teams will probably get into the 40s, if not both. So I'm taking the over in this one.
Great stuff from Dan Kaiser. He is a winner, guys. He's all over the Sportsmemo leaderboards. You know, you should dip your toe in the Dan Kaiser pool. I promise you're going to come back for more with the best customer appreciation discounts on the planet over at Sportsmemo. By the way, Dan, our producer, Chris, just sent me a message. He has access to your W-2s. He said, happy 99th birthday. You look great for your age. That's from Chris, guys. You look great from your age. Guys, we have another... We have two more. I'm sorry, guys. I love it.
I was wondering, are you sure those aren't my medical records instead of my W?
I love you. I love you, Dan. Dan, thanks for being such a good sport as well as a great capper. And you're certainly a fan favorite out there. You've become a real big fan favorite over the last few months since you joined the Sportsmemo brand. And we're happy that you're here with us. Guys, two more best bets from two documented winners. I want to talk about the First Lady of Las Vegas, guys. This is kind of interesting. The last few days over at Sportsmemo, she's had two 10% plays, both winners, a 5% play, a winner. The last 30 days over at Sportsmemo, and you could check it if you think I'm just, exaggerating a bit because she's my wife. The last 30 days at Sportsmemo, she is a leaderboard fixture on the NBA, on the NFL, and the NHL. As a matter of fact, she is just killing it in all three sports, and guys, I married her because I like a big butt. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. But she is the top capper right now in the NHL, so it doesn't matter. And she's doing so well. The great folks in our Detroit office, Detroit Rock City, we love you, gave her a special discount. I've got to toot that horn. It's a special NHL discount for Dionne. Go follow her after the show for the rest of the NHL from today the NHL straight through the finals. $200 off. Use code Dionne200 upon checkout. You save $200. You bet $5, $50, or $5,000 a game. You'll make money with her. She is a winner. Plus, maybe if you don't want just NHL, you want the 30-day all sports access. She'd be perfect because she's doing college and pro football, college and pro basketball, and hockey. She's crushing every leaderboard she's on at Sportsmemo. Every single one. It's nice to see the D'Amico name up in lights and not saying wanted across the bottom of it, Dionne. You're making us proud. She's going to tell you what she's been doing. She's going to tell you what you can expect from her on the premium side, Sportsmemo. She's got another free best bet, and I've been keeping score of her free best bets between the First Family Show, the Family Affairs Show, the College and Pro Football Forecast. Over 80% for 4 months. Off the charts, guys. Off the charts. If our free games can do that, what do you think our premium games can do for you? Dionne, take it away. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Joey. Like Joey did mention, I am all over the leaderboards in multiple sports over at Sportsmemo. And yesterday I won both of my NCAA basketball releases, giving me a 5-1 record in college basketball this season with $100 bettors up $2,120. And tonight we win again with my NCAA basketball late night winner, which is posted over at Sportsmemo right now. So make sure you head on over to the site and pick that winner up. And we do have that hockey special going on right now. Since my hockey is on fire, you can get the $200 off my entire season straight through the Stanley Cup by using code Dionne200 upon checkout. And all of my college football releases will be posted by tonight to early morning. So make sure you head on over and pick up those winners. And for my best bet today, guys, I had this game written up early this morning. And just an hour ago, we had an update on Michigan. With news of running back Blake Corum out for the rest of the season, obviously, this line is going to move. How much? We can only speculate. I will tell you this. I took this into consideration when I wrote up my analysis and understand that the Wolverines' backfield still has Edwards and Stokes at their disposal. They both appeared in most of the team's games this season after Corum got pulled. As a matter of fact, Edwards played in 9 games thus far and Stokes in 10 games. And I still like this team. You know, folks, when you're dealing with a conference like the Big Ten, the team is stacked deep at every major position. Having said that, I still like this play, but watch and wait for the line to drop before playing it. I think we can all agree that this college football campaign, we have seen teams drop down in rankings if they took their foot off the gas. And as we all know, anything can happen in December in college football. Now, if that's a close game, they're still undefeated, but they really have to blow out Purdue here. The Wolverines rank second in the polls. They're only one of 3 teams, undefeated teams. The top-ranked Bulldogs have a matchup with the Tigers, and even though LSU will give them a bit of a hard time, I still expect Georgia to win. The third-ranked Horned Frogs have a very difficult matchup with the Wildcats. The one loss to Trojans sit in 4th place. And the 5th-ranked Buckeyes also have one loss. Michigan must keep their foot on the gas. You would think that after unseating Ohio State last week in the game, they manhandled the Buckeyes 45-23. The Wolverines might be due for a letdown. Their head coach will not allow this, my friends. Both offensively and defensively, Purdue just cannot compete in this matchup. The 23 points allowed in last week's win over Ohio State was the most Michigan has allowed since late September. I just don't see the Boilermakers moving the chains at all on the ground here, as they don't have much of a rushing attack. This leaves their one-dimensional offense very vulnerable. They are very good on passing the ball. The Wolverines, they own the 11th-ranked pass defense in the nation. They will key on the passing game. Defensively, I just don't see Purdue slowing down, let alone stopping Michigan, whether it be on the ground or in the air. The Wolverines are on an 18-7-1 ATS run their last 26 games. And they've been even bigger favorites than 17 points in many of their contests. So they will cover the spread and crush the Boilermakers here.
Great stuff from the First Lady of Las Vegas. Good breakdown, and I give you a lot of respect. You're my wife. I give you a lot of respect. Anybody can sit with me for 22 minutes. I give respect to, but you've been doing it for 22 years. But the fact that you're sticking to your guns, even after the announcement of their running back going down, I respect that a lot. Great breakdown, too. Guys, follow Dionne D'Amico. She's a winner. Don't believe me? Go to Sportsmemo after the show. She's on the NFL, the NHL, and the what was the other leaderboard, Dean? And the NBA leaderboard. I'm sorry for 30 days. Thanks, guys. Guys, it's time to adjust your volumes. I'm excited. I've been crushing it everywhere. Last 30 days, NFL $100 bettors up over 1,600. I come off another 10% winner over the weekend. 18-3, my 10% releases over at Sportsmemo, guys. NFL, my pro football's been hot. I know it's a college football play show, but I want to tell you, NFL's been hot. Money is money. Doesn't matter where it's coming from, as long as it's not coming from an illegal activity. Anyway, having said that, going into the conference championships and bowl season the upcoming weeks in college football, I will crush every sports book on the planet. I have been documented as much as 90% during this time of year in college football. I've had bowl campaigns in which I brought you nearly perfect bowl seasons. This is the time of year you must follow a winning capper. Joe D is just that. I'm one of the most successful cappers in December and January in the history of this business. So grab a discount and ensure yourself a winning season. By this evening till tomorrow afternoon, I will have up several college and pro football releases. And I'm telling you right now, I'm looking at a couple of 5%, possibly a 10%. I'll extend that 18-3, 10% 2022 record. Also for tonight, Thursday night, guys, I posted 2 of my strongest college hoops releases thus far in this short campaign. My 52-15 college basketball Las Vegas strip move. We're already 1-0 this season. And my Pac-12 game of the week. I have them both posted individually over at Sportsmemo, but I also put them in a 2-pack, 2 games, $25, I believe. Go over to Sportsmemo after this show. Follow Joe D and follow him to the bank. For my best bet today, and my best bets have been crushing it on every show. Guys, it doesn't have to be the SEC, the Big Ten, or even the Big 12 championship game for you to make money in. And that's why my best bet for this week's College Football Forecast show is taking place where? In the MAC. What? The MAC championship. The 7-5 Toledo Rockets face the 9-3 Ohio Bobcats at Ford Field in Detroit for the conference championship. This is the 18th straight season that the title game for the MAC is being played on this field. So there are no strangers to this field or to their fans, guys. You may not realize it, but Ohio is one of the hottest teams in college football. They began the campaign at 2-3, but since the beginning of October, they've ran off 7 consecutive victories. The Dogs love this game. 7 consecutive victories straight up. Oh, and by the way, they've also covered 8 straight. On the other hand, Toledo comes in here struggling. They have dropped their last 2 straight up and have failed to cover 5 consecutive contests. Now, guys, the line is off here, and I'm going to tell you why. For most of the campaign, Curtis Rourke was at the helm for Ohio. He passed for over 3,200 yards and 25 TDs. He is out in this matchup. Now, if he was playing, you would see the Bobcats closer to a touchdown favorite. But let's pump those brakes, guys. No need to worry. His backup, C.J. Harris, doesn't have a lot of experience, but he is a solid quarterback. He threw for 196 yards and a touchdown in the air, ran for 65 yards, and 3 more touchdowns on the ground in the victory over Bowling Green not long ago. My friends, this team has an explosive passing attack, and the lesser experienced quarterback has a lot of luxuries at his disposal. He's got 4 receivers, all with 500 or more yards receiving, and he has one of the best running backs in the conference in Sia Bangora. Hope I pronounced that right, buddy. Who has over 884 yards rushing and 11 TDs on the ground, another 200 yards receiving, 2 TDs coming out of the backfield. Like I said, he's got a lot of talent at his disposal, this quarterback. Just because he's a little less experienced doesn't mean he can't light this team up. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to light them up, guys. This team is loaded with playmakers, so don't worry about their quarterback situation. Defensively, they're pretty darn good as well. I mean, they've held their last 6 opponents all to 24 or less points. And in the MAC, guys, that's pretty damn good. Toledo, 0-5 ATS, the last 5 games played on a neutral site. 0-5 ATS, the last 5 versus teams with the winning record. 0-5 ATS, the last 5 versus conference opponents. And 1-6 ATS, the last 7 played in the month of December. Take the points with Ohio. Take your bookmakers' money, guys. Let's bring our crew back on. Let's get some closing thoughts and comments from everybody on the panel. Then we're going to take on off out of here so you can take advantage of all these free winners you got from Dionne, Jesse, Dan, and myself. Dionne D'Amico, closing thoughts and comments for our viewers. Dionne, your volume.
Sorry, the dogs were barking. Yeah, just make sure you head on over to Sportsmemo right after the show. Pick up my late night winner in college basketball tonight. I am 5-1 right now on the season, and my hockey is also on fire right now. So the great folks over at Sportsmemo have a great discount going on right now. You can get the whole season of NFL straight through the Stanley Cup. You can get $200 off. All you have to do is use code Dionne200 upon checkout.
Great stuff from Dionne D'Amico, the First Lady of Las Vegas. Let's go from the First Lady to the Iceman, Jesse Schule. Closing thoughts and comments for our viewers, buddy.
Everybody out there should check Sports Memo TV for my breakdown on the Akron Zips versus Buffalo game. Starting quarterback by the name of Undercuffler. And if you haven't seen my take on that, you don't want to miss that. So go to Sports Memo TV and check that out right away.
Gotta love the Iceman, the man himself. Dan the Man Kaiser. Old Danny boy, take it away.
Yeah, coming off a 10% winner last Saturday in college football. I've got one up on the Big 12 Championship game for Saturday, and I'll have my full football card for the weekend up by tonight and tomorrow, by noon tomorrow. So check that out.
Guys, this is an amazing panel. This is the Thursday College Championship Weekend edition of the College Football Forecast. My friends, don't forget to tune in to all the Sportsmemo TV's amazing content. Hit that subscribe button to get a reminder. You don't want to miss any of our cappers, free winners, or betting insights. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Remember, increase your chances of making a profit. Follow the best collection of cappers anywhere on the planet here at Sportsmemo, because we don't go gambling, we go winning. On behalf of Sportsmemo, Jesse, Dan, and myself, Joe D'Amico, everyone out there, good luck and have a winning day.